Good evening, everybody. My name is Brittany Justice, and thank you for joining in on Talks with Brittany. Tonight we have a special guest. We have my sister. We're going to call her my future sister-in-law. We have Miss Kobe Black. Everyone give a warm welcome to Kobe. Um, we probably won't be before you guys long tonight. We're going to do a little segment on women mental health. Kobe attended
the University of North Carolina at Greensboro.
And you got your bachelor's degree in?
Yes. I got my bachelor's degree in political science pre-law and a concentration in pre-law as well.
Okay. So we're going to talk about some mental health for women. With being in school, life, kids, I'm a mother, mental health for women is very important, as well as men's mental health was important as well. But we want to just give a little insight and talk about the women tonight. Where are we going to start, girl?
It's so many. It's a plethora of things we can jump into.
Wow.
And it's crazy because we have like open talks all the time.
All the time.
So
all the time.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna get real interesting. I'm gonna let you start with school, living on campus, and being in dorms. You did 4 years of school, pre-law at that.
Yes.
How did you make it through?
People tell you about college, but they don't go into depth about how it changes you as a person. It's like, oh, like you're at your parents' house, you're an adult. But for me, especially having parents that were like, don't be outside at this time. You need to make sure you have your grades straight. You need to be on a routine. It was a culture shock because my mom literally dropped me off and I'm like, you're not going to take me home with you? Like, this is where I live now.
You gotta stay for the next
this is where I'm just staying for 4 years. So it was a real culture shock. Moving about campus, figuring yourself out. Of course, every campus is different.
Yeah.
I did actually. I applied to 7 different colleges and I got into 6. So I did have the opportunity to go to a HBCU, but my path led me to UNCG in Greensboro. So everybody's experience is a little different, but I think that was definitely the campus for me and who I was. So I enjoyed my 4 years.
So you enjoyed your 4 years?
Yes.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So what did you enjoy most about living on campus or getting the college experience?
Honestly, and I mean this is very cliche, actually getting out my mama's house. Everybody was like, I love to go party. I'm glad to be in the sororities. I would like to go to frat parties. Me, I'm glad I can pick my groceries. I'm glad
it was the simple
things.
Yeah,
it's the simple things for me. It was like I'm glad I can take my car where I want to take my car. I didn't have to feel the need to have to go ask somebody to do something. So for me, it was just being a young adult and having that newfound freedom to make my own decisions and,
I didn't get to experience college. After high school, I went right into the working world. I wanted some money.
Right.
I wanted some money. Mm-hmm. School was not for me. I never enjoyed school, liked school. But I will say I wish I would have took on that journey of experience college, the campus life, like you said, so I do wish I would have taken the opportunity to experience that. Jumping right into the work world for me was just about money. I started paying bills early, it was just about money, and I lost what I wanted. I think that's kind of what got me to where I am now, where it took me a long time to kind of figure out what my purpose was and what my passion was, because I jumped out of high school and went straight into working, working for someone else. So I definitely it took me a long time to figure out what was my purpose and what was my passion. So I do wish I would have went off to college.
No, I would say, because especially being in the midst of college, and I'll tell anybody this, college isn't for everybody.
You're right.
It's not. Like I tell people, unless you're going into a profession where they require you to have like your bachelor's and go to some type of secondary education, it's not. I wouldn't say it's not worth it, especially for people that love to learn. But I've seen people like yourself. I look up to you. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I really do look up to you. Who didn't go to college and still found their niche. They found their way and their purpose. As I said before, I majored in pre-law, and I forgot to mention also a minor in women's genders and sexuality studies. I needed to say that because I paid for it, so I need to say it. And not forget, not leave any accolades off.
Don't leave it off. Don't leave it off.
But I want to become an attorney. So of course you have to have your bachelor's. You got to go to law school. You have to take the bar. You have to take your LSATs. So I didn't have any other way to get around going to undergraduate college. If I could, I don't think I would have went to college. Mm-hmm. I love to learn. I'm just that type of person, and luckily UNCG did have this mindset as far as their courses. I don't like to just sit behind the desk all day. I don't like to just take a whole bunch of notes all day.
Right.
I feel like I work better with my hands. I feel better processing things, seeing it visually, and working with my hands. So I feel like, I didn't want to be behind the desk. But for me, it's like I do got the money in mind. Right. An attorney, to make the money, I got to get this, go to college, get my degree. So yeah, but I've never felt like college is for everybody, because then a lot of people end up in debt and don't use their degree, and it was all because they were pressured to go to college. Yes. College is especially now in like the new age, everybody being content creators, endorsement deals and stuff. It's so many other things you can do than just going to it for your college.
Exactly. Yeah. So I know living on campus for 4 years was pretty exciting, but I know it had its struggles and its times. So, what did you endure your years on campus that you feel shook your mental? Like, at what point throughout your 4 years on campus was it like you felt like you mentally just...
Yeah, like my mental health kind of went into a decline.
Yeah, like I don't want to say, because everybody doesn't suffer with anxiety or depression. Mm-hmm. Everybody does not. That's not everybody's story. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you do have times where you do just struggle mentally. Like you second guess yourself mentally, or you start to down yourself mentally. So I didn't want to say if it was anxiety or not.
Right. And I appreciate that. I feel like I first want to say this is my experience. I don't want to speak on anybody else's experience, because everybody you take a look at is going through something. Mm-hmm. For me, it started a little bit in my younger childhood in high school, especially since I was involved in anything you can think of, SGA, National Honor Society. By senior year, I was student body president at my high school, Southern High School. But college really took a turn. And I think because everybody speaks on the positives of college, you're getting out there, you're making new friends.
Right.
But they don't explain to you, especially me as a Christian, being raised in a Christian household, that's a period in your life where God is shaping you. He's reshaping you into what He wants you to become later on down the line. It's no longer depending on mom and dad. It's no longer coming home living under somebody else's roof. You literally have to wake up every day and make decisions for yourself outside of going to somebody else's class or turning in homework before 11:59 at night. So for me, as I said, my parents were, I don't want to use the word strict, but they made sure we had a regimen, we had a routine, we stuck to it. I wasn't that type of kid that would be able to go to all the parties. I barely was able to go to high school games.
Same.
Different functions. If my mom was that mama, if I don't know your friend's mama, you're not going. You're not going.
Okay.
So, going from that to going to college, where it's like, if I want to go out and stay out till 12 o'clock, I can. If I want to go out with this friend to do this thing, I can't. It was a culture shock for me. But I think what really started having me take a look at my mental health and finally be able to say, okay, I think I'm struggling with anxiety, was when I lost myself. And I know it's, I'm 22 years old. I have so many other things in this world, obstacles to overcome.
Right.
So some people might look at it as, well, it's college. What exactly does it change about your mental? I'm not the same Kobe I was going in freshman year. I've completely changed, not even a 360, but a 180. My mindset, my drive, my beliefs, my things that keep me going in life. So for me, it was having a shell shock. I'm an adult. I don't have nobody making decisions for me, but I haven't been in a household where I've been exposed to making those decisions for myself.
Right.
If I feel sick, I have to nurse myself back to health because I got class on Monday.
Yeah.
I have all of these classes, all of these things that people are requiring from me, on top of being in social clubs at college, on top of being a sister, on top of being a girlfriend, on top of being a friend.
Right.
Because the thing about us as people, we're not just carrying on our trauma, we're carrying on some baggage from people that depend on us to talk to us and, help throughout their life. So for me, it was just like, I just kind of got to a point where I'm like, I wish everything would stop. I wish time would just pause so I can breathe.
Right.
And time does not stop for nobody.
Never.
So it was really a downhill spiral because I was in denial. For me, it started with, okay, I'm really exhausted.
Why do you feel like you were in denial?
I was in denial. Okay. So I'm going to say this again as my experience and my truth. I feel like personally for me, people that I've came across, especially in the African American community, it was taboo to talk about your mental health. It was, you don't have anxiety, you're not stressed, you don't pay bills, so what are you stressed about?
Right.
This should be a time when you're enjoying your life. You have so many things to look forward to. I don't think, you have any mental health. That's for people that are schizophrenic. That's for people that have more severe qualifications for your mental health. It was like I was constantly being compared to this checklist. It's like, you don't fit what's in these boxes. So I don't think you have anything wrong. And it's like, when you're self-aware, you're saying, no, this is not me.
Right.
Something's wrong.
Right.
I can't pinpoint it, but this is how I feel.
Right.
So that's what I meant. Like, I was in denial because I'm like, maybe I'm just stressed because of college. Maybe, after college, things will get better. Maybe, I just need a vacation. Maybe I just need to call out of class and just sleep and then maybe catch up on some work and then maybe it'll get better. But it was like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It was like, it's only a temporary fix. So yeah, college was, I noticed little things in high school, especially since high school was when I had my first panic attack. But definitely dealing with college was where I really came face to face with my mental health. Yeah.
I'm gonna take it a little step further, and like you said, disclaimer, side note, I am only talking about my personal opinion, my personal beliefs, my personal experiences. I'm not projecting anything on anyone else. I'm only speaking for myself. So with that being said, I went through different phases. I'm 29 now, so I went through different phases where growing up, like you said, we grew up in a Christian household, like church every Sunday. Wednesday, we was in Bible study. You had to go to Sunday school. We had on the 3-piece suits. Like, we was in there,
Right.
So for us growing up, we were always taught about spiritual things. So, certain things my mama would say, don't speak that on yourself. That's a demon, like don't, stuff like that. And then going from that, growing up and getting, having a child and being around different environments and influences and things like that, I then started to believe like this could be something serious. Like it could be anxiety. I could have, depression. Like, so I started self-diagnosing myself. Exactly. Like, I'm like, girl, you got anxiety bad. Like, yo, like I'm self-diagnosing myself. Right. So, now at the age I'm at now, within the past, I'm gonna say 2 months. Mm-hmm. Within the past 2 months, the things that I have seen, the things that I have heard, the environments and rooms I have been placed in, it's almost like I see why my mom and dad taught us the spirituality of things. I understand it now. And a lot of things you have, like they say, you have to be careful what you speak because you will speak some things on yourself. So I'm self-diagnosing myself saying I got anxiety. Here come a demon. Is it now? You all of a sudden you really do got anxiety. Exactly. Yeah. So I have learned throughout my course of years, and like I said, this is my personal beliefs, my personal opinion. I do believe that there are people that do suffer from mental health conditions and mental health issues, but I do also believe that you are what you speak. Right. You are a product of your environment. So if that's what you are around, that's what attracts to you. That's what you are speaking, that is what puts on you. So I have definitely learned, when it comes to mental health, please be careful. Please be careful. Like, if you have not been diagnosed by a doctor, and even sometimes the doctors can be wrong, okay? So, if you have not been, doctors love to give you medicine. That's how they get paid, So, they're quick to tell you, like, you got depression. Right. Let me give you these antidepressants, let me give you this anxiety medicine, like that's how they get paid. Let's just keep it honest. Right. So you have to be careful with the things that you do speak on yourself and the things that places you place yourself in your environment when it does come to mental health. Right. So that's my little TED talk. That's my personal opinion, my personal belief. Lately I have just learned to pray. Yeah. Like I've just had to pray and stop speaking so much things on myself. Like I haven't had no anxiety. Like I haven't been feeling like no crazy depression. Like I haven't, because I've stopped speaking those things. So that's my little tale. Like, please just be careful what you speak on yourself.
I definitely agree. I definitely do think there is power in the tongue and what you speak onto yourself and what you immerse yourself in. Right. Definitely, I wish I knew that going into college, but how can I say it? I wasn't really focused on that. Even though, growing up being a Christian, you're kind of just in college taking things day by day. Right. So it was more like, right. I'm just happy to be, somewhere on my own. Exactly. So it's like, but being out of college, taking this time for me to say, okay, this is my time to focus on me and find who I am and reground myself in my spiritual belief. It's like, that is demons. That is demons coming in and saying, okay, I understand that this is your weak point. This is what gets you flustered and frustrated. Exactly. So I'm going to put this noose around your neck, figuratively speaking, and I'm going to keep tightening it because I know this is where I can get you. Right. Now, I do agree with you also to get diagnosed because that's what I had to do. I think, and that's another reason why I was somewhere in and out, because I'm like, no, maybe, I don't want to sit here and knowing other people deal with severe other mental health problems and say, I have anxiety. Doesn't everybody get anxious? Doesn't everybody, have certain fears about themselves? Right. But I think for me, what really brought it to a peak was, talking to your primary care provider, discussing those things. but where it started to kind of like derail me daily. From not really sleeping, having insomnia, my mind racing. I can't stop my mind from racing. I'm always feeling like no matter who I'm with, no matter if it's family, friends, even sometimes, joining you guys for gatherings, I would always feel like the best way I can put it, waiting for the shoe to drop.
Right.
Like I'm constantly in a fight or flight mode, and it's like there's no reason for you to be. And I do think, and I appreciate what you said about it's about where you're surrounded with, because I was blessed enough to grow up in, a great family, didn't really want for anything. But you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? So, being a product of that and being surrounded by that and kind of having to come face to face with it, like, okay, it's affecting my mental health. It's affecting why I feel like I always have to be in fight or flight. It's a problem. High school, I wasn't popular, but I was well known for being in different clubs and being a part of different stuff. I was a social butterfly. I was that kid. My color went from green to yellow because I was yapping. I was just yapping. Anybody I saw, it wasn't a stranger, you were a friend. But by the time I got to college, I didn't go to any parties. I probably only went to one homecoming, and that was my senior year. I could probably count on one hand how many friends I made, and it was just because I was constantly living in fear. Then you tackle on, okay, I was a 2020s baby. I didn't have a college graduation. I had to go to college in the midst of COVID. Can't get in people's face. Can't converse with nobody because you like, I don't want to get,
Yeah.
All of that, it just pile on, and then just feeling like, yeah, I have parents. Yeah, I have a sister, but nobody gets it. And you kind of just like, I'll keep it to myself, and it just builds and builds and builds. So yeah, I do agree, and I think in this moment now that I have time to focus on myself, I'm definitely leaning more on God, definitely seeking Him more, because I started to realize you can't solve everything, especially when you have things going on with your mental, because if you're not careful, like you said, the devil got you. It's over.
It's so quick for him to just knock on your door and you let him in, and next thing you know, girl,
right,
in a world of trouble. So,
right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Me being a mother now, like I said, like it hasn't been until like the past 2 months where I've had this, change and spark of life. But before, girl, like I have very, 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 anybody knows me know I have very low patience. And I just can't with the smallest little thing, and then that would take me over the edge, and I'm like, my anxiety, I'm going crazy, like, so being a mother, and I got work, I got school, I got mother, I got sister, I have daughter, bills, life, like everything is happening at once. I had the freaking dog. I had to get rid of the dog. Like life was lifing for me.
Right.
And I slowly felt myself going into a black hole. And I remember being in this black hole before. And I always told myself, like, once I pulled myself out of that black hole years ago, I refused to go back to that space. Right. Like, I refuse to be crying every day. I refuse to be mad at the world every day. Like, I refuse to be that person again. And faking the funk, faking like I'm happy, smiling, but behind closed doors, I'm crying. I'm, thinking bad thoughts. Like, I'm going to be... I don't know about nobody else, but this is a safe space for me. So I can only tell my truth and be honest. Like, if it wasn't for knowing, growing up in church, we knew, suicide was bad. You're not supposed to commit suicide. But I can only be human and say, babe, I had them thoughts. I did. it was days where I was like, Lord, just go ahead and take me. Like, if I could jump off this bridge right now, God knows, baby, I would. Like, I had those days more than I would like to admit that I did. And I always said, once I pulled myself out of that hole, I refuse to go back.
Right.
So now at this age where I'm recognizing the people I have around me, the influences, the rooms I step in, where I go, what I listen to, what I consume, like, the age I'm at now, I'm slowly starting to understand and see so much. And I'm like, I refuse to go back to that place.
Exactly.
So if you have to go, you gotta go. Mm-hmm. If I have to stop going here, I have to stop going here. Like, if I have to stop listening to this, I have to stop listening to this. Like, I've really been very conscious and intentional with my mental health, because like you said, I don't want to speak anything else, or I don't want to get to a place where I'm letting and entering in things that I should not be entering in. And then I will be back in that space.
Right.
So I've definitely been very more intentional lately with what is going on around me. Exactly. And what I am consuming. Like, girl, I done had to cut out so much music. Like, baby, I would toot this thing and twerk quick, but I just can't no more. Like, certain songs, I just can't. Like, I can't do it. I can't do Meg. I can't do Glow. Get them Glow. I love you, but I just, certain songs now I just really cannot do. I can't go to every, like, I'm a homebody now. Right. I'm home 24/7. If I'm not at work, if I'm not at the grocery, I'm at the house. Right. Like, I just can't go everywhere because things will start triggering. I'm start thinking a certain way, and I'm just like, I just can't. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I just want to say thank you for still being here, because I have friends I talk to, and they would say, like, I've had those thoughts, I've been in those places. I haven't personally, but definitely feeling like you're not worth anything. You know, you're not. Sorry.
No, don't cry. No.
Like, you're not gonna graduate. You're not, especially as you think you are. Like, you're just trying to just. I hate crying.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're just having these thoughts, and you're just thinking, like, I know I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, but I just don't feel like it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I just don't feel like I can be what God wants me to be, because I don't feel like I'm worthy of that. I don't feel like what everybody views me to be, such a wonderful person. When I'm in my room at night and I lay my head down on my pillow, I don't feel like that. You know, so I get it, because I had those times and it was like, it was bad.
Yeah.
So I always like to tell people, like, thank you for still being here, because I get it. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. It's really not. And like we say, if you allow those thoughts to get too deep, you know, unfortunately, we have had so many people, choose that route. Yeah. And it's so unfortunate. And I think, at times, and I'm just like, what could have changed? Right. You know, like, what could you have done or said to help this person? You know, because I personally have had those thoughts. I have had those moments, but I had to find a way out. Like, you know, I knew that could not have been my ending. I knew that just could not have been what was meant for me. Right. So I do have those moments where I think about people that has committed suicide, and I'm just hurt for them, because, you know, I wish it could have been help. Like, I wish it could have been something different. So you have to just be very, very careful on what you let in, who you have around you, those spaces, because mental health can, in the quick of a moment, some people can just decide to make that decision where they end it all, you know. And it's times where I look at is you see on the news so many times where a mother kills her kids and kills the babies, and it's like, what could someone have done? You know, what could have been done differently to help them?
And I feel like if I could say anything that could be done differently, and again, just from my personal experience, pay close attention to what somebody's telling you. If they say, I'm stressed, I just feel like I can't do this no more, I'm exhausted, I'm mentally over it, don't brush it to the side. I get everybody has things that they go through. I get everybody has their own stresses.
Yes.
But it could simply be one wrong move or one right word spoken that lets them live on another day.
Yes.
Or just saying, you know what can I help you with? That's why I just, despite what I have going on, I will stretch myself thin if it just means I can help somebody.
Exactly.
If they help, because I get it. Everybody's not gonna always be okay every day.
Yeah. Everybody's not that strong, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, you just never know. Like, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, a lot of people don't know that, but you know, they always say the most loudest person in the room, or the person that's always smiling, laughing, you know, checking on them. They're the ones that you might want to check on the most. You know, they're not just happy; they're hiding it. So I hid mine for a while. No one knew, but now I'm at a place where I'm like, let's talk about it. You know, like, let's talk about it, because it's not talked about enough. You know, everybody is not honest with how they feel, and I feel like that's kind of what's wrong with society in the world now. I feel like you said, once upon a time we grew up where it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village. To this day, I stand strong on it takes a village. Like, I stand strong on it, because doing it by yourself, as a single mother, doing it by yourself, baby, nowadays, a loaf of bread is almost $4. Like, a gallon of milk is almost $4.
Yes.
So being a single mother by yourself nowadays, it is not impossible, but it is hard. It is so challenging, and it is so hard. So I depend on my village around me very heavily, you know, like, it was times where I would tell my mama, like, Mom, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right.
Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to be mean to her, but I'm not in a space right now as a mother to be that mother she needs.
Right.
Like, I'm about to go crazy.
Exactly.
And my mama would have to step in and be like, I'm going to give you a couple of days.
Right.
I'm going to give you a couple of days. I'm going to give you a day. I'm going to give you a couple of hours. Like, you got a village.
Right.
So I would take that time, decompress, get myself together, get my thoughts together, you know, and she comes home. So it's still like that now. Like, I do believe it takes a village. So like you said, if you have a person in your life, friend, cousin, sister, brother, aunt, any help. Like, we have to get back to being helpful with people. Like, everybody is just about self. Like you said, yes, the world is going crazy. Like, it's so much happening, and everybody is going through something, but you don't know what the next person is thinking. Like, you really just don't never know. And it could just take one conversation to help someone mentally. It could just take a laugh. And you know, it's funny because my mama always talk about my daddy. When my daddy go into the grocery store, he don't care if you yellow, he don't care if you pink, black, blue, white, short, tall, Indian, skinny, fat. He don't care. My daddy gonna find somebody to talk to. He don't care where we at. It can be church. He gonna turn around and talk to somebody. Like, he don't care, but I admire him for that, because he's determined to leave a good impression. Like, he's determined to turn somebody's day around. And he always says that you don't know what the next person is going through. You don't know how I could have helped that person stop committing suicide. You don't never know. And now it makes so much sense. And I love him for that, because you really don't know. You really don't know what the next person is going through. So let's stop with the selfishness. Like, I can only speak for myself, but I know for my village and the people I have around me, like you said, I would stretch myself thin trying to help. I would stretch myself thin. I could be in Africa and you tell me you need me in Asia, and I'm going to find a way to get to Asia to help you. Like, I'm just going to go the extra mile, and people be like, why do you always want to? It's just, I do things that I would want somebody to do for me. I do things that I would know if it was roles were reversed. I would want somebody to help me like that. So I try my best to do for others because I would want to be done the same way. So I can't say I have a selfish bone in my body, because I know how life is. I know it's hard out here. Like, it is hard. So you just have to be help. Like, open your door, a meal, a phone call, a text. Like, y'all on social media all day anyway. Send that person a text. Hey, I'm just thinking about you. You okay? You need to talk about anything? You need anything? Like, it's not going to kill you. It's not. The smallest little thing would help somebody. Exactly. So, that's all I have. That's my TED Talk today. I'm sorry, I didn't want you to cry.
No, it's okay. I guess it's just, it makes me emotional. I'm very an emotional person, even though I don't like crying in front of people. But I think
I'm emotional too. I'm just.
I think it's just, like you said, growing up in church, but for me specifically in this time, I would say I'm at my peak, just because I have this opportunity. But I only feel like it's because of God. Because again, I graduated. I was supposed to be going to law school right after next month, August. God had the plans for me. But I feel like I'm always somebody that depends on God's timing. So I feel like it's a time for me where I've been like, talk about these things with people, because you just never know.
Right.
And when you talk about these things with people and you're just figuring out, okay, this is something I didn't know about you. It's just, it opens up your mind.
Yeah.
And it opens up your heart. And I think, like we were learning in church one service, it makes you fix your heart posture and look at people differently.
Right.
And try to just be that good person for that other person.
Right.
So I just got emotional because it's just like I said, I look up to you, so you just never know what somebody may be going through on the inside. Yeah. And when you hear certain things you were dealing with behind closed doors, it's like, you see me.
Yeah.
I see you. I can resonate with you.
Yeah.
I can agree with you. So,
yeah. Well, I'm glad we had this conversation. This was really good, this was not planned. This was actually very unexpected. Yes. But like you said, God sees and knows all. And I really do hope that this message reaches the right person. Don't give up. Don't give up. Like, it's more in store for you. That's not your ending. I know life gets hard. Find a village if you can. Find a village. And we don't mean you need time to go out and drink and party. Like, no, if you really genuinely need that help, that time, ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. Like, don't get discouraged. Keep going, keep fighting. Everything is going to work out in the end. So I do hope this message, reaches the correct person, and I hope this helps someone. My name is Brittany Justice. This is Talks with Brittany. And we will see you guys next Thursday. Good night.